Hello everyone, and welcome back to One Love, Well-Being and Lifestyle Show. My name is Dr. Peter Amato. I'm here with you today with my co-host, the beautiful Miss Julia Brown. Hello, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here again, Dr. Amato, and looking forward to an awesome program with our special guest.
Absolutely. And we're coming today from the beautiful estate of Harmony Mountain Institute in northeastern Pennsylvania. It's an institute for finer life and enhanced well-being. Take a look at it. We've got a wonderful show today. We've got Dr. Howard Fisher with us. Dr. Fisher is not only a doctor, he's an integrative physician as well as a chiropractor. And he comes to us with a long history of expertise in many fields. He's written 19 books. He's actually had his books published in 12 languages, and he's spoken in 30 countries. He's an expert, and we're going to talk about something today that's near and dear to many of our hearts, folks. We're going to talk about cancer, and we all know it's such a ravaging disease, but I'm always looking to learn more and improve the results we get with cancer. We'll be right back with Dr. Howard Fisher on One Love. Okay, folks, welcome back to One Love. I'm Dr. Peter Amato with Miss Julia Brown, and here with the world-renowned expert, Dr. Howard Fisher. We're going to talk today about cancer. Wow, what a big topic. First of all, Dr. Fisher, let's learn a little bit about what is cancer. We hear so much about it, it affects many of us, but let's break it down here a little bit.
Cancer is the abnormal growth of cells that don't die, right? So it's one cell type that is growing out of control. And that, in a nutshell, it doesn't matter where it is. It's the proliferation of a cell type that should not be growing.
Okay. Is it a disease? Is it infection? Is it bacterial?
Well,
what are there's so many names these days.
No, it's none of those, but are those causes? Well, sure. 41% of all cancers is caused by environmental toxicity. 23% of cancers are linked to obesity. 18% of cancers are linked to infection, but they're not. Infection isn't cancer, and obesity isn't cancer, and environmental toxicity isn't cancer, but those are the links.
What are some of the most common forms of cancer? What are some of the common ones?
Oh, it's breast number one in women and prostate number one in men. And then, I mean, if you live long enough and in a toxic environment, and 90 to 95% of all chronic disease is environmental factors. Okay. So the most common factors will be, and it doesn't matter if you get a common cancer, you don't get a common cancer. It doesn't matter if you get a cancer. It doesn't matter. So I'd say it's breast and prostate. And they say if men live long enough, they'll all have prostate cancer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And mainly caused by external factors or internal factors, or what can we do?
Well, the genetic links, they say, are between 5 and 10%. But once again, it doesn't matter what caused it. It's how do we take action against it?
Or how do we prevent it?
Preventing it is difficult, but preventing it involves a protocol that you have to be more consistent. You have to watch what's going in your body, right? You have to watch what's around you, the air, the water. I mean, there are basically 7 intervening factors, 7 intervening areas that you can do to prevent all disease and live longer. And that would be, don't eat crap. Don't eat garbage food. Watch what you eat. Find a nutritional source. Look for a spirituality. I don't care if it's prayer or meditation or whatever it is. Exercise.
Yes.
Good quality air, good quality water, and protect yourself from electromagnetic radiation. And if you intervene even a little bit in all of those areas or any of those areas, you'll have less disease and a longer life. So the question becomes, what can we do as interventions And the question also becomes, is everyone predisposed? Or are there certain lifestyles that affect it? And yes, of course there are. Not enough sleep, that's going to affect it adversely. Being obese, that's going to affect it adversely. I mean, we talked about the number 23%. Having a lot of a poor immune system, which of course can lead to that. I mean, by the age of 40, we've made 10,000 wrong cells a day, every day in our body. So 10,000 cells that your immune system has to deal with. So that being the case, we're very aware of the fact that we've got to make sure that our immune system works, because we are just a physiological factory. And I know at your clinics that you've been in this arena for a long time, being extremely successful, far more successful than the 2.1 to 2.7% 5-year survival rate that we see with allopathic medicine. But with the introduction of some new protocols, you will find we will enhance your numbers even better than they were.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It is.
So here we are talking about the natural approach as compared to the allopathic or traditional approach. And folks, many of you know that we've been doing this a long time. We're going to take a break right now, and we're going to come back and talk with Dr. Fisher more about a natural approach to cancer. All right, be right back. One love. Over and out.
Welcome back to the One Love Wellness and Lifestyle Show with Dr. Fisher as our guest and my co-host, Dr. Peter Amato. And of course, we're talking about the big C, which is cancer that is affecting persons worldwide. And Dr. Fisher is a leading researcher in this, and he knows quite a bit about it. So we left off from the last time, and where we're talking about pretty much what can be done in regards to the cancer. What is there that can be done to take this to the next
first off,
level?
let's not mystify it and call it the cancer. It's cancer. Okay, it's so predominant. I'm one of the Truth About Cancer doctors, and we've had over 15 million views. And so we want to get people to talk about it, because if they don't talk about it, we don't have any chance of intervening, right? And so your reaction is natural, Julia. I'm not saying it to say anything negative, but when you call it the cancer used to be someone people would hide from, and they would run from. But now we can take an approach, and Dr. Amato knows this, we can take an approach at it. So let's look at what's happening. Let's look at why people are getting this and why there's an issue, right? One, we went through all the factors in the first segment. Okay, so let's not go there. So let's presuppose that it's an immune system failure. Well, we are physiological factories. That's all we are. We have equipment that has to function. Well, we need the raw materials. We need the organelles to function. So what's not working? The immune system.
Right.
The immune system is not working. We're overwhelming the immune system. So what would we have to do? Well, we'd have to support the immune system. Then we'd have to get a delivery of that support. Then we'd have to provide nutritional support throughout the entire body, and the best ways to do that. So that's what we have to do. It's not about, well, let's radiate them and see if the cancer dies before the patient. It's not about, let's give them chemo and see if the chemo kills them. Oh, it does kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the cancer, well, it dies and the patient dies. But see, the reality is flawed because the 5-year survival rates are so low, no matter where you go, because it's the body that is allowing you to kill cancer. Dr. Amato knows this. It's like, speaking to the informed here. I'm preaching to the choir. And so the reality is we found better methods to enhance the immune system, to provide support for the nutrition needed by every cell in your body, and to deliver it there. And in doing so, we're giving the people a better chance. We're giving survival rates that make it interesting for consideration. A lot of my colleagues, the initial consultation is $4,000 to $5,000.
Wow.
That's just to sit down and talk to them. Then if you have to go in for a month of treatment, it's $20,000 to $50,000. And that's okay, because you know what? After you pass, money is of no use to you.
Right.
So I've been working with Dr. Amato, and we've got a very advantageous protocol that is a minor fraction of those numbers. And people can go on living. And people can go on being healthy. As a matter of fact, one of the hallmarks is of the protocol, about the 1 month mark, people start feeling really good. And that's what they say, they feel really good. Compare that with someone on chemo. We all know someone who's been on chemo. Mm-hmm. We all know someone who's been in radiation, and they're really not feeling great. And they're really dragging it, right? And it's, well, if we're lucky, we're going to kill the cancer before we kill the patient. And so, who wants to live like that? And then there's the other side. And I do multiple consultations a week, every week, day in, day out. And so you see some doctors, well, I'll just give them the kitchen sink. I'll just give them absolutely everything. It's, send me what you're taking. There's 50 items on it. 50. How can you take 50 items a day? How can you do that? Right? It's too complex. So that's why a lot of them opt out and go for anything or die.
So other than the traditional cost of cancer care, toxicity, side effects, you're talking about ways to enhance the body's own immune system to eradicate the cancer cells, restore the immune system, and come back to optimum health in a cost-effective way.
First off, if you're obese, you want to try to lose weight because you're affecting yourself adversely. You want to eliminate all the factors. So, what's the best thing we can do to drive up our immune system? Well, we can look for all these plants that have a history. We can do the research. We can look to see. We can try and stop aromatase because that's converting to estrogen, and estrogen's linked to breast cancer. We can have a doctor who's created a product that's had 10,000 patients who survived 8 years or more, and that's the immune response product. And I know you've started to incorporate it, and the results are amazing. We're taking people that are literally been given a death sentence and extending their life. Now, we don't know if it's weeks, months, or years, because everybody's different, and we don't know what they've been through. And we don't know how much chemo they've had, and we don't know how much radiation, because when people seek natural
right.
help, they've generally been through everything and have not had success. So, what is it worth to have an extra year or 5 years or 10 years?
Absolutely. We've seen some remarkable results with the immune response, and I love the synergistic formula that has come together. I'm not a scientist, but when I read what's in there, I'm pretty excited about it, and I've seen some good stuff.
Yeah, I have too, and it seems to be people. I've seen patients given a week to live, living 6 months, 8 months. I mean, I hate to lose anybody. I hate when that happens, but you know what happens. It's a consequence of getting there too late. This is the Emret Activator.
The Emret water.
We had a show about Emret water, and the origin of this was not the fact that it's super hydrating, but the fact that this creates water that mimics the water that the people who were supposed to have cancer but didn't were drinking. So when we look at statistically what the body can do, a chemoradiation approach is a wrong approach. So with the MRET water, what in fact we're doing is creating a water that gets into the cells and superhydrating the cells. And the cells are responding in their function. We know things like a well-hydrated cell will not allow viruses to grow their protein, where a dehydrated cell will allow viruses to grow their protein. So since this can go in 1/3 of the time, we know that that's an advantage because it'll keep down other pathogens, right? And if the immune system doesn't have to deal with other pathogens, there's lots of pathogens. We live in a pathogen-filled environment. There's far more of them than there is of us. And so the bottom line is, so we looked at the results, and the results are 76% of the tumors that were put into rats, actually it was mice, sorry, died. 76% of the tumors died just because of the ability of the cells to deal with this. Now, if we gave them water right when they got those tumors, 55% died. So look at it this way. So there is a 60% chance that your body may be able to defeat cancer with this water. It depends what the status of your other organs are. And that's what Dr. Amato's been doing, providing support for everything, because that's the only logical approach, is to do it that way.
That's correct.
And so once we support in that manner, now, you heard about drones, right? Drones that deliver things?
Yes.
Yeah. So think about mail coming by drones. Think about the Pony Express that used to deliver the mail.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you get on a horse, you ride the horse till the horse gets tired. Okay, you change horses, you ride the horse till the horse gets tired, you change horses, eventually it gets there. Now imagine you order something by drone. It picks it up at the warehouse, it flies, it delivers it, it's immediate. That's MRET water, getting into your cells, bringing in nutrition and taking out toxins.
Fascinating information. We'll be back, folks. We're going to take a short break and come back with you on concluding on integrative approach to eliminating cancer. One Love, be right back. We are back, folks, with One Love, Julia Brown, and Dr. Howard Fisher. Doctor, let's get back to this incredible, what appears to be an enhanced clinical protocol to help folks remediate cancer and the problems that come along with cancer. Talk to us.
Well, we talked about the immune response because we have to elevate the natural killer cells in the body and take them to a point where they'll start to kill things. We talked about delivery, Pony Express versus drones with the MRET water because it accesses aquaporins and can get to every cell in your body. And these are relatively new. I'm going to go way back now. I'm going to go to something that's over 5,000 years old.
It's going to take us way back, Ms. Brown.
Go ahead.
Now, in the hieroglyphics, it's referred to as the tree of immortality, and it's Moringa oleifera. And nobody, outside of India, where Ayurvedic medicine, it's their go-to guy, no one really had known about it. You could have walked into a health food store 10 years ago, asked for moringa. You mean meringue? No, moringa. No, we don't have it. I don't know what it is. And so now, if you go to pubmed.gov and you type in Moringa oleifera, you'll find hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of papers. And if you type in cancer, there's about 50 papers. Oh. So obviously, there's quite a beneficial effect. And understand that it's not moringa that's killing anything. It's the effects that it can cause in the body. And so when we start to think of that, well, why is that happening? Well, it's got all these antioxidants, 46, 36 anti-inflammatories, omega-3, omega-6, omega-9, all the minerals, all the vitamins you might need. Now, with cancer patients, I like to add a lot of vitamin D3. a lot of vitamin D3. I like to add B12, especially for vegetarians. So I like to look at other aspects. If they're in a highly pathogenic environment, I like to add a colloidal silver, right? Because we know that's, an indiscriminate pathogenic killer. And so we're adding things. We have to make sure they're detoxified. And I know you have a lot of good detoxification products as well. Moringa is good at that. There's a tea that's good at that. And I know you have a host of other that will clean the liver. And so the bottom line is that we now have a comprehensive protocol that we can counsel a patient. They can come to the clinic. They can fly in or go whatever to the clinic, and we can counsel the patient. We won't charge them the $5,000. It'll be far less than that. I mean, but people have to be paid, so fair is fair. And then give them a protocol that they can carry out at home. They don't have to be someplace. We don't have to leave the traditional protocol where, well, you'll be selling your house soon to pay for your therapy, and then when you run out of money to pay for your therapy, I'm afraid you'll pass because the therapy wasn't effective at what it was doing anyway. And going from there, we can make it so people can take control of their lives, even with the cancer. And so the reality is giving people hope, making people feel good, has a significant impact on the progression of any disease.
Thank you very much for all the work you've done, and we're grateful to have you on the show.
Thanks, Peter. And unfortunately, I don't have a vested interest in finding things. I have a vested interest in helping humanity. And in doing so, you know what? American doctor, Russian scientist, 5,000-year-old Indian plant. I just found the synergistic effects that work with it and make this function. And so for me, it's a mission of discovery, but I've been on this path a long time, and I will continue to look until we can eradicate this. Last year in the US, there were 1.6 million new cases of cancer.
Wow.
And thank you for providing the entity, the clinic, where people can go and where people can actually be a part of helping their lives with these products.
Well, you're quite welcome. I'm honored to do it, and I wouldn't know what else to do with and in my own life. So we're gathered here. Ms. Brown?
Yes, this has been a very interesting topic, and Dr. Fisher, cannot thank you enough for the wealth of information that you've imparted to not only myself, but also to the viewing audience. And we just want to thank you for being here again. Thank you, Dr. Amato. And until next time, the One Love Show. See you soon.